and percentages. So percentages can be converted to fractions by changing the percent sign to a denominator. So the word you need to put in there is denominator. To a denominator of 100. So for example, if you have 37%, that is the same as 37 over 100. You just put the 100 on the bottom. Please don't be talking during the explanation part of the lesson. Fractions can be converted to percentages by dividing the numerator by the denominator and then multiplying by 100. Dylan, were you unclear about the no talking part? So luckily for you, you have calculators. But if you didn't have a calculator, you would have to, for the example down here, you would have to find out what 3 divided by 8 is, and then you would have to times that by 100. So you probably have to do one of those division signs that we're looking at last lesson to find the decimal so that you could then jump the 2 places over to multiply by 100. Okay? But fortunately, we do have our calculators. So you are going to need to use the diagram that we also used last lesson, which was, I'll draw it here again for you. If you have a fraction or a decimal, we're really just focusing on the fraction part today, but it works for decimals as well. And we want to go to a percentage. So I'm drawing a percentage sign. That's not a division, it's a percent sign. To go from the fraction to the percentage, you're going to multiply it by 100. To go from a percentage back to a fraction or a decimal, you divide by 100. If at any time you need to change between the fraction and the decimal, so your calculator gives you a fraction but you want the decimal, you press the SD button that is on your calculator and it will change it for you. So all you need to do then for our examples. Question 1 says, express these percentages as fractions or mixed numerals in their simplest form. So 17%, looking at my diagram, it is a percentage. Whoop, not that one. I want my other pen. Let's try that again. I have a percentage and I want to get to a fraction, which means I've got to go that way around my diagram. So I need to divide by 100. Now, the best way to divide something by 100 is to put 100 on the bottom of that number. The fraction line means divide by 100. You can use the good old-fashioned 17 divide by 100 if you like, but that puts it as a fraction straight away. Now, it does say in the question that we want all of these answers in simplest form. So you need to make sure that that fraction can't be simplified any further. So you'd be looking for numbers that you can divide both the top and the bottom by. The top number for this one is a 17, which is a prime number. So there's not too many things you can divide 17 by, only 17 itself. And 100 is not going to divide by 17, so it won't simplify any further. That one's the answer. Okay, let's try B. So again, I'm going from the percentage to the fraction. So using the diagram again, I'm still dividing by 100. So it's 36 and I want to divide it by 100. Now that one is going to simplify. First of all, I'll do it without the calculator. I can divide both of those numbers by 4. So if I divide, you go to the top and the bottom. Dividing the top by 4, 36 divided by 4 goes 9 times. 100 divided by 4 goes 25 times. Okay? However, remember that your calculator is very useful for simplifying. If I were to type in the 36 over 100 and just press equals, it simplified it down for me, so 9 over 25. So you can use your calculator as a check to make sure that you got it right. the 140%. Still a percentage, and I want to change it to a fraction, which means I want to divide it by 100. Now I can simplify that fraction. Hopefully you can see the zeros on the end of both of those. So I could start by dividing by 10. If I divide by 10, I will get 14 on the top and 10 on the bottom. However, that still can be simplified more. I could divide both of those numbers by 2. Dividing by 2, I will get 7. 14 divided by 2 is 7, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. That is simplest form, but the question did say mixed numerals if needed. That's an improper fraction. To change that into a mixed numeral, you want to find out how many times 5 goes into 7. It goes once. You take 5 out and you need 6 and 7. You have 2 remainder. So 2 remainder over 5. Now I did all of that without my calculator. You can do it with. Back to the very starting fraction, the 140 over 100. I can put 140 on the top, 100 on the bottom. It simplified it down to 7 over 5 straight away. To get it to put it into a mixed numeral, you press the shift button and then SD, and it will change it into the mixed numeral for you. Okay? So as long as you know how to use your calculator, it will make your life very easy. Question 2 is going the other way. In these questions, we have fractions, and we want to go to percentages. So to my diagram on the top here, here's my fraction. If I want to go to the percentage, I'm going across the top this time, which means I need to times by 100. Okay? So each one of those fractions, I'm going to times this by 100. Now, 5 divided by 100 times by 100, those hundreds, they're just gone. It just makes 5%. Okay, you divide by 100 and times by 100, kind of means you're not doing anything, and it's just 5, right? So if 100 is on the bottom, the percentage is just whatever the number is on the top. Okay? Not all of them are that easy. Part B, 11 over 25. To change that into a percentage, I'm going to times it by 100. Okay, now you can do these ones without a calculator, but it'll be much faster with for these. So we type it in. 11 over 25, use the cross arrow, times by 100, equals 44. So 44, and don't forget to put the percentage sign on that, saying that you've made it a percentage now. Part C, same thing. If it's a fraction and I want to make it a percentage, I multiply it by 100. And I'm going to type that in my calculator. 5 over 8. And times that by 100. Okay, now that is an improper fraction. I'm going to press my SD button because a decimal would make more sense for this. 62.5%. Or you could have gone 62.5 fraction if you prefer. They mean the same thing. The last one, 3 3/5. I want to times that by 100 to make it a percentage. Remember to type in a mixed numeral, you need the 3 boxes. So you press shift and your fraction button to bring up the 3 boxes first. 3 out the front, use your cross arrow, 3 on the top, 5 on the bottom, a cross arrow again, times by 100. And that makes 360%. Any questions with that? No?